last left the Nailbiter, we found out that this thing is freaking awesome. Like, seriously, the Nailbiter, I did a review, and it is freaking cool as all heck. But of course, there's lots of questions to be had about this thing. For example, this trigger is relatively easy to squeeze, not only because it doesn't have a whole lot of power behind it, but because you use basically the entirety of your hand's strength in order to prime it. Which means that this thing should hopefully catch withstanding whatever kind of slip catch it has back here, take a pretty decent spring upgrade, and that's what I want to find out today, and exactly what we can do with it. Things I don't really want to do today is like brass the magazine clip thing. I don't really have enough brass for it, but I may take out the dart posts now that I think about it. I don't really see a reason not to do that, but improving the seal could help, but there's not enough barrel here to really matter about that. All we want to do is see what this thing can actually take. So let's grab our trusty screwdriver and drop a marker, whatever, and open this thing up. And there are a surprisingly number amount of screws here. There's a lot of screws in this thing. Woo, that piece comes out for easy painting, which is good. I guess we didn't fully unscrew this one. And we're in. That's a pretty respectable sized plunger tube. It does have gears. That's not the greatest thing ever. How exactly did that gear even go in there? Well, that's going to be fun to figure out. It looks like all the screws are the same size, though. That's a pretty decent sized plunger tube. Not massive, but... oh, well, that's actually really easy to see how that works. Huh. Well, the gear isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there is one gear, and maybe we should figure out if we can make this clip removable. And I'm willing to guess... it seems like the entire bottom of this clip right here is designed to stop this thing from coming out. There's a little notch right there, but I don't really feel like that does anything. I feel like this part and this part, basically this entire block right here, is what prevents the clip from coming out. Let's see if we can get the whole mechanism out while we're at it. So we can hopefully just undo this one screw right here in order to lift out the entire plunger assembly. Good. I don't think we need all that. That is the catch, the slip catch. Easy spring to access in order to strengthen that up if we need to. Good, that feels really nice. Good job. Take that out. Take that out. So this is the entirety of the gear mechanism. These gears seem really strong. I think that will take a spring upgrade, no problem. And then, should be just one screw here by the looks of it. Perfect. Alright. So, technically you should be able to just basically file this down, maybe these edges a little bit, and you should be able to remove the clip perfectly fine. It seems to catch right here. You can see all this is completely open, and this one right here is what stops it from being able to be removed. It's just a little tiny ledge right there, and you can see this might stop it too. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think actually, because this is basically the same design, although this, no, there's nothing for that to catch on. It is literally just that lip right there. Personally, again, I'm going to leave mine the way it is, but yeah, just this little lip right there should be able to clip that out with something and be able to use this to completely remove this. Next up, I want to see the plunger tube assembly and see how... oh, it's screwed! Oh, please tell me I just have to remove this screw. Come on. Come on. Maybe? Aha! Ooh, that bodes well. Ah, that's a tiny spring. A very weak, tiny spring. I'm not even sure what an analog for this would be. There is a nice little padded plunger part on it, which is good, because that would be under a lot of stress. Good seal. Well, it's the same exact dimensions as K26. So I'm guessing a decent upgrade for this will be just cutting a K26 spring. Not optimal. I was hoping that would fit inside of it. Don't know what that's from. I don't know what any of these springs are from. This seems a little bit beefy. Nah. Maybe not. Alright, well, K26, I could shave these down a little bit. I'm not going to quite yet, but it does fit on there, just doesn't go quite all the way up there. But maybe that won't matter. We'll find out, because usually there's a little bit of slack in the catch mechanism. So now we need to put this thing back together, which is going to be super fun, because I don't think I was really paying attention all that much the first time. What's interesting is the plunger rod doesn't have any kind of catch on it. So technically it should be able to take as much of a spring upgrade as the coils will allow, because you don't have to worry about it really clearing a catch on the front. That being said, that still kind of opens up potential for issue here. But we'll find out. Yeah, that moves back. Okay. Well, technically this should work in some capacity. Well, that kind of seems like it's gonna work. We just pull... oh, nope, it's just one little screw right here. I love how this thing comes apart. Well, oh my gosh. It's louder. Huh. That definitely fires. Rate of fire went down considerably. Sounds like an actual nail gun now. That's the funniest part about it. Interesting. All right. Well, we know it catches, so let's make sure that we can get it to actually fire a dart now. Alright, let's see what kind of performance upgrade we get. Or if the thing even fires a dart. Get a little ahead of myself. Well, it's hitting, but it doesn't seem like it's hitting all that harder. I'm going to take it over to the chronograph and see exactly what's going on. Alright, let's see what this thing does. 67, 65, 70, 8, 5. Well, we've got a higher average, that's for sure. 75. 70. There was a 95 in there, but I'm pretty sure that was just it reading high. One last volley here. Well, missed one. 97 again. 89. I'm getting similar. I want to say those are errors, but at the same time, it was doing this stock. I'm going to do one more set. 65. Error. Error again. 72. 70. 67. Error. 71. Well. Time to come to a conclusion. All right, time for a conclusion, and the Nailbiter does not disappoint. Doing a spring upgrade, this time I just used a piece of K26 that was the same length as the stock spring, even though it couldn't compress all the way, which is very interesting. And the fact there's no catch in there, you can put a pretty devilish spring power in here, but you're gonna start running into some issues. Obviously, internals durability is one of them. Do not remove the AR system in here. You are going to be asking yourself for trouble. And it does limit the rate of fire and comfort of the blaster. I'm not sure how long. I mean, that's not that bad, but it is considerably harder. Way easier if I two-hand this thing, but one-handed, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult, and my hand is gonna get tired really freaking quick. So maybe only consider doing this if you're using this thing as a primary. Like, that's not a joke. And we did get a pretty good upgrade out of this thing. I mean, now it's only hitting about an average of Elite Standard, which is, not terribly bad for something that, primes one-handed, but, I did get some high numbers in there, and just like before, that makes me wonder if this thing's just getting the perfect seal with the perfect pullback and release that gives it those high numbers, but it can take a spring upgrade, so what else can you do to get this thing possibly hitting up into that 85-90 mark? Well, brass in the clip is going to be one thing. Brass or even PET G or something like that is going to be really good for this. Not too tight, but certainly tighter than what we have right now, because right now it does not, it's nothing until basically right back in here. That's no good, and possibly better seal on the actual plunger tube and everything like that. But overall, Nailbiter does have some pretty decent uses, but it does kind of limit what you can do if you mod it. And again, the K26 is not the optimal spring for this in any fashion. I'm sure as time goes on, more people get their hands on it, they're going to find way better spring combos that are going to yield way better results with far less that. K26 is just a pretty ubiquitous, easy-to-use spring. If the blaster can use it, then hey, but there are several springs out there that are going to be way more efficient than K26, so keep that in mind. But once people start finding out the perfect spring upgrades, I mean, then we're all good. My plans for this blaster as we go forward, obviously I need to make the Kota Hirano special, which involves making a new stock and possibly some kind of barrel attachment that has a sight and everything on it, made out of erasers and all. It's gonna be hard to build those and make this look good, because I don't want to just glue things to it and be like, look, it's the one from high school, the dead in that one scene. I don't want to do that, but it has to be done, you know what I mean? But possibly the most important thing is this thing needs to be painted up to look like the nail gun from Rust. It's not exactly the same, but it could be done. I think the silhouettes are close enough that this is definitely usable. There's just like so much little cool detail. Like, I just want to rub and buff the crap out of this wire right here. It just looks so good. It's got a bright future, so if you want something that you can upgrade, probably not use comfortably, but can upgrade and get some decent performance out of it, yeah, definitely. I really like the Nailbiter. I don't know how much more obvious I can make that, but the Nailbiter is a complete winner in my opinion. But let me know what you think about the blaster down in the comments section below. This is not the perfect mod guide by any means. This is just meant to help you if you are taking yours apart and fiddling around with springs to try to get yourself into, hey, this is how I take it apart, this is how I put it back together. If you're having any issues, I kind of try to cover everything I was having issues with and put it back together. No problem whatsoever. If I can do it, you can do it. But the most important thing is now we just need to find the perfect spring upgrade, and well, as people get their hands on this thing, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what kind of future it has. Definitely a must buy, in my opinion. Thank you very much for watching this video. I am, of course, Walcom S7, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different video.
You gotta